Good afternoon. Welcome to Moments with Pastor E. This is Pastor E coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. If you're coming in by Facebook, please like and share the broadcast so that other folks can know that we are on the air. Thank you so much for your support over the years, and we do really appreciate you supporting Moments with Pastor E. Father, we thank you for this day that you have made. Thank you that we are alive and well and ready to do your work. We thank you for those that will join in. We pray that whatever is said will be a blessing. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen. Amen. So, we're still in the month of March. And as all of you know by now, the month of March is Black History, Women's History Month, right? And on the 8th of March, we did celebrate International Women's Day. Now, as I said last week, this was all put into place by President Carter in 1980. So every year we celebrate Black women. And there are so many Black women, past and present, whose shoulders we stand on. You know, it's awesome that women have, rose to the challenge. You know, it has been challenging. You know, there are many who have gone through a lot. Some of them are not here with us today. Some are still here. But they made big sacrifices so that people like myself could reap the benefits. And people like myself could be sitting here in a television station talking to you as a Black woman. So today I have a guest, and she is so special. And some of you know her, some of you may not know her, but I'm pretty sure most of you know her. So I'm gonna give her a minute to introduce herself.
Thank you, Pastor Mummy. For those of you that don't know who I am Pastor Idris's daughter, Nicola. I'm from Boston. I was born here, and it's always an honor to come and serve Mama and be on the show with her.
Are you from Boston or are you from the Caribbean?
I'm fortunately from Boston, but I say I'm Caribbean.
Because your parents are Caribbean, so...
Yeah, Caribbean American, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of own that you're...
Yeah,
you're
100%.
Afro-Caribbean American
100%.
Black woman.
Absolutely.
You take it all, right?
All of it.
Okay, excellent. So welcome, Nicola.
Well, thank you, Ma.
It's always a joy to have you. We always have fun when you're on the show. So we're going to talk a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and wherever the conversation leads, that's where we'll go.
That's it.
We have no script.
Okay.
But I just want to wish all the women out there happy Black Women's Month. And I want you to celebrate you in the best possible way that you can. You are special. If no one has told you that in a long time, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am very special. Because Nicola, I've learned this, that there are times when, and it's not being arrogant, but there are times when we have to celebrate ourselves.
It's true.
If no one will celebrate us, because for whatever reason, and I'm going to put it out there, and some of you may agree with me, and some of you may not agree with me, but sometimes as Black women, we find it hard to uplift each other. Even if somebody's wearing something really nice, we can't find it in our hearts sometimes to even say, oh, Nicola, I really like that dress.
Yeah. In
your heart, you want to say it, but you're like, I don't want him to feel too good. But, we should get away from that.
Absolutely.
And we should celebrate each other. So if no one celebrates you, you celebrate yourself.
That's right.
I do celebrate myself all the time. Sometimes I look in the mirror and say, God, you did a good job. You did that.
God said, with the cherry on top. You did that.
God said, it was good.
That's right.
And I'm saying, God, you made a masterpiece.
With the mic drop.
With the mic drop.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And, it's like I said, it's not being arrogant. But, I think it's a form of gratitude when we look at ourselves. And like David says, I am fearfully
And wonderfully
and wonderfully
made.
made.
That's true.
It doesn't matter what shade your skin is, because some of us are lighter than others.
Yeah.
Today, Nicole, I looked at myself and I looked at my veins and I'm like,
Need a little sun.
I need a little sunlight here. The veins are sticking out. You can see them.
Uh-huh.
What color is that? Green?
Yeah.
So some of us may be a shade lighter, a shade darker, but whatever color you are, whatever shade you are, we all are beautiful women.
Yeah.
We all come to the table with different things.
Absolutely.
So there's no need to feel like, well, because somebody is lighter in color, that makes them a little better than us. No.
Yeah.
No, because we all bleed the same blood.
It's
That's
true.
what I always say. If you cut me and you cut you,
I got blood.
you got blood,
And it's red.
and it's
No
the-
other color.
No other color blood.
Yeah.
It's the same. So we ought to celebrate ourselves and celebrate each other. And sometimes we're hard on ourselves.
We could be our hardest critic.
Like you, Nicola, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can be very, very hard on yourself. Why is that?
I think there's definitely layers, right? Being an athlete, you are placed in positions where you are constantly pushed to do more, right? And you realize that there is more within you, right? You may feel like, oh, I'm exhausted, but there's still a little bit more, right? So I carry a lot of what I was taught from athletics into my life. I think there's places of perfectionism that I'm constantly working on, right? And I think there's even more layers to it too, right? Like you mentioned, oftentimes it is hard for people to celebrate others because we're in a society where it's very individualistic, right?
I'm competitive.
Yeah. Versus when you go to a Europe or you go to a Germany or a Switzerland, there's more collectivism. There's a culture of understanding that like we go far together. I can do this by myself and go fast, but I may not have the foundation to go far, right? And I think that even when we go back to slavery times, right, you are constantly in this realm of survival mode. And oftentimes people carry that on, right? Where it's like, I can celebrate the fact that, Pastor E, like you're doing your thing, you're thriving, you're moving, you're shaking, you took a step further, right? You are pursuing all your goals and not feel any way.
Right.
Genuinely, right? But some folks, oftentimes when you're looking in the mirror, you realize you're competing with yourself. And I think that's what a lot of it is due to. A, the person is competing with themselves, and then B, the idea of staying in that survival zone. And it's like we have to be able to take that time and really heal and acknowledge those places and speak and have those hard conversations, right? It being mental health, right?
Right.
Seeking a therapist, or it be that, I just need to sit with my girlfriends and hey, like I'm working through this right now. And it could often feel taboo because if we don't speak of something and we keep it internalized, over the years it can continue to just fester. Versus if I let it out and I heal, then I find it one step closer where like, oh shoot, because I can celebrate myself and honor myself, it becomes a whole lot easier to honor the people in the room. But for some folks, that's a real struggle.
That's a struggle. And I think, given where we have come from as a black race,
Absolutely.
if we go back in time and you look at the Harriet Tubmans of the world,
Yep.
She was enslaved. They were all enslaved. But she did not say, okay, I'm going to get myself out of here and I'm going to get to the north and you guys are on your own.
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman was the Moses, as they call her, of that generation.
Trailblazer. Yep.
she was the leader. And you know, the Underground Rails, which sad to say,
Yeah.
there was a black woman that thought it was an actual train that was running underground.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no,
Yeah.
we have to know our history. We have to learn our history. And she also talked about, this young lady talked about her grandfather being an activist. So how is it that your grandfather didn't teach you the history, that there was not an
actual,
conductor,
yeah.
a person driving a
Yeah.
bus or a train on the ground? It was people.
Yeah.
And so the point I was going to make is that Harriet, you know, she risked her life because she was going to get as many people
Yeah.
out of the South from slavery up north.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, if you read the history, you see the struggles, you see what she went through, but she was bent on helping her people.
Yeah.
And she was a woman.
Collectivism.
Collectivism. Now, why do we find it so hard? And I think we should always go back there and see how people did it, how people came together, how the civil rights movement came together. It was a collective effort of people that says, I'm not just doing it for me
Yeah.
or my family. I am doing it so that the generations
After me.
after
Legacy.
me can reap the benefits. Because we're sitting here today as a result of what Rosa Parks did.
Yeah. What they carried on their shoulders.
What
for-
she carried
Yeah.
the burden on her shoulder and did not care if she got killed on that bus. She was like, I am not. Today is going to be a revolution.
Yeah.
I am not giving up my seat. Now, how many of us would have been that brave? This was a black woman in the 60s,
That's true.
you know, in the Jim Crow age. I mean, how many women would have been so brave? But that was the start of the civil rights movement, you know.
True.
The civil rights movement
Yeah.
came out of that
Absolutely.
one act. Like, I am not going to give you my seat. You're white, I'm black.
Yeah.
You can sit, I can sit too. You know, and she defied all the odds. And today, many years later, we are the recipients
Yeah.
of that movement.
It's true.
I mean, you know, and people would say, oh, you know, we still live in a racist country. Yes, we do.
100%.
And nobody is denying that. But don't you think we have come far?
Yeah. I think even the social construct of family at that time, right? Because you often allude to, and I even have memories of, like, you know, growing up and Thanksgivings together. And of course, everybody has different construct of what family is, right? Some folks have a one-parent household, some have
Yeah.
two, right? And when you often learn about even the Black Panthers and the Revolution and even the idea of what family looked like. I can even remember as a child where on the street that we lived on, if you weren't present, there were still people out on the porch making sure that we were safe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and if we
absolutely.
acted out, trust and believe you were gonna know before the end of the night.
But not the street we lived on. We
Yeah.
still live on that
Oh,
street.
100%. It has completely shifted though, right?
Yeah.
The idea of community.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where how we honor or even believe is our form of community. Because I'm a sole believer that even if you didn't grow up in a two-parent household,
Right.
there are ways that there are aunts and uncles, nieces, nephews, people that are godmothers, people that we
Yeah.
don't even identify
Aunts.
in.
You got 100 ounces,
Yeah.
right?
In the Black community, we don't necessarily speak of mentors, right? That's
Right.
like a newer
Yeah.
word for us, right? Versus understanding, wow, that person has been in my life forever. They are in a form like a mentor. They're not family, like by blood, but
Right.
they're family. And I think the construct of what that looks like now is a little different because it's more like not necessarily eye for an eye in some cases, but it's more like, how do I attain this level of success?
But it's part of this to blame on technology.
Oh,
The
100%.
way the world
Absolutely.
The way the world has changed. Now, I saw a commercial some time ago, and it was this lady at the Golden Corral, which we don't have here. It's a southern chain. And she's sitting around the table in the restaurant with her children. And everybody is on a device. And she said, nobody can speak? Nobody speaks? But then what she did, she started talking about the shrimps that she had on her plate and how big they were.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody perked up.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, now you can speak? Because the girl is now running and, what?
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I thought that was such a great commercial to bring awareness to how we have been so steeped into the culture of these electronic devices that there's no time for kids. When you were growing up, when Aisha was growing up, and you're talking about the street that you grew up on, there were all the neighborhood kids. You guys would be out in the street. I used to be afraid because we didn't have a big backyard. And you guys would be out on the street playing ball.
Kickball, dodgeball.
Dodgeball, this, that, the other. And cars are, that time, that street, I don't know if it was a
It was two-way at that time.
two-way? Okay. Now it's a one-way. But cars were coming and going. And
I'm trying to figure out how.
I don't know how you guys did it.
Yeah.
But looking back, it was so beautiful because it was like a community coming together. So you guys would be out there playing, and the neighbors would be talking, and you know, and we're keeping an eye on you guys. And it was so beautiful. These days, you don't even know who your neighbors are.
True.
Because everybody is indoors, and life has gotten busier for some people. And I'm not going to blame it on other people because I know how busy my life is too. Your life is busy. You know, we're gone in the morning, we don't come back till the evening. You don't see people. There's not that camaraderie anymore, you know? And I don't know how we can get back to that.
I think, first of all, you know, oftentimes when we speak about technology, it's like, technology, of course, it has its positives, right?
Oh, yes, it's not a bad thing at all.
But I also believe, too, there's balance in everything,
Yes.
right? Being able to sit here and have a conversation.
Yes.
Those matter,
Yeah.
right? And giving your undivided attention.
Yeah.
I remember I asked you a couple weeks ago, do you think I'm a good listener? And you said, you know, yeah, something, you know, when you listen. And then there are times when, you know, you're trying to multitask and you have your phone and so forth.
Sometimes you're on your phone. I do the same thing too. Sometimes you're talking to me and I'm like trying to catch what's going on over here, which I find it's so rude.
Because we are not at all created to be multitaskers in any way, shape, or form.
But then why are we so tied to the phone and the devices that we can't even sit a moment and speak, have a conversation?
Yeah, I think in everything it's balance, right? Acknowledging, man, I need time to build and to connect with people and to be in that space. And then there's times that you're like, I gotta lock in and get work done, or I gotta lock in and I'm just tapped into my phone right now. So with everything, of course, is balance. And I think there's a beauty in technology that we have seen, the evolution of even how we do research, how we communicate with people. The mere fact that we're in the studio right now and someone in England can hear what's going on right now at this moment, you know, everything is definitely a progression and there's beauty in it, but there's also, you know, balance in everything as well. And I think to be intentional about those conversations is really making a conscious effort to want to identify and realize, man, I need that time. Because every human being does. We need interaction and relationship.
That's right. And you know, what I did this morning, I made a conscious effort. And I'm probably speaking to somebody out there who goes through the same thing. At least 3 or 4 girlfriends called me during the course of this week. Well, you know, I work, they work, so you know, it's really hard to connect. And sometimes when you come home late at night, or not even late, but when you come home, sometimes you don't feel like you want to be on the phone.
Yeah.
I, for one, because I spend a lot of time on the phone at work, and so when I come home, sometimes I don't want to be on the phone. But I do recognize that, hey, these women are checking on me.
It's true.
So what I did this morning was to carve out time after my devotion and everything. I sat there, and one by one,
Call them.
I called them.
Mm-hmm.
And just checked in, say, I'm sorry, I didn't get back to you, blah, blah. And everybody understood. And it's so important to surround your people with people who are of like mind, that understand, even if I didn't call you back, it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. It just means that at the time I couldn't, or I chose not to at that time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And we were able to catch up and see how each other's doing and laugh and have some good moments. And for that too, I was grateful. I said, thank God, I have women that I can call and just talk to. Sometimes it's nothing earth-shaking, it's nothing serious, it's just laughing and chatting about nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's politics, it's our family,
And
it's
that's necessary.
just anything, but just sometimes a good belly laugh. And I wanted to say to every black woman out there, because I'm speaking to black women, surround yourself with black sisters who can take you somewhere. Not the ones that constantly drag you down, constantly complain, and listen, I'm not saying, because there are times when we need people to pour our hearts out to. We need somebody, just a shoulder to lean on. We have different things going on in our lives. We have family issues, we have sickness, we have all kinds of things, and we need each other.
Yep.
But I'm talking about the people who constantly don't have anything positive. It's like, oh my gosh, she's calling again. I know why she's called. You know what I mean? It's all negative, negative, negative. And no matter how you try to help some of these people, it's like they don't want to be helped.
Yeah.
So we need, as black women, surround yourself with women who can lift you up, who you can lift up. Whether it be in times of tragedy or need, or just have a good laugh with. We need that village.
Yeah. And that really understand the importance of relationship, right? Because I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, we need each other. And I think oftentimes, I saw a post a couple days ago where someone wrote, I'm just going to isolate myself and stay to myself. And often I hear that vernacular a lot, right? And it's not a safe space to be. There's a place of, I need to unplug and recharge.
Yeah.
Right? Especially depending on what your type of personality is. I honestly believe across the board, extroverted or introverted, you need a recharge.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Right? But there's that fine line of isolating where when you believe that you don't need people and you don't need community, that's a really scary place to be. And we have to honor relationships.
That's a scary word. Isolate. Because we as human beings, not just women, but we as human beings, and I think a lot of times we as women do that too, because we're trying to run away from what is happening. And so we find ourselves in a place where it's just me and my thoughts. And that's a dangerous place to be, because when you're just sitting with your thoughts, when things are happening, when things are looming, what thoughts are you thinking? Like Joyce Meyer always say, our mind is the battlefield. It's the devil's playground. I'm not going to put on the preacher's hat. I'm just going to tell you, he works on our minds, especially when we're in isolation. When we can't call someone and say, this is what I'm going through, and someone can give you a word of encouragement, or there's a sister that might be going through the same thing you're going through, and can connect with you on that level. And you find yourself gradually, feeling like, okay, I am not alone in this. But if you're isolating yourself and you're not talking to anybody, and oh, I don't want to see this person, I want to see that person, that is very, very dangerous, because you can sink so far
Yeah.
that this is where depression sets in, where you don't enjoy anything that you used to enjoy. You don't enjoy people's company. You don't want to talk to anybody. It is very, very dangerous.
Yeah. And I think that oftentimes it's the power of listening, right?
Yes.
We spoke about it a couple Sundays ago. One of the most profound, if you look at the scale of like the most that we communicate, is through our listening,
Yes.
right? And I think we have to be in tune with ourselves to know where we are, right? I remember when I first connected with a therapist, and I realized I wasn't doing it because of something that happened. I wanted to just be more in tune with myself and understand what I need. Because sometimes you feel tired, but you realize you might just need some fresh air, right? There may be different things that your body's asking for, different things that your mental's asking for. Even in terms of relationships, the power of being able to just share with someone, right? And
Someone
sometimes,
who's objective.
yeah, and even if you call a sister and they haven't gone through that situation, or they don't have anything to say, might just be the matter of knowing somebody on the other end is listening,
Yes.
right? And then I think that begins to really unpeel the layers where we can celebrate each other, because we're more in tune with our circle, we're more in tune with the person that we're having conversation with, we're more in tune with what is going on around us.
And sometimes people would call you, or people would want to have a conversation with you, and all they want, like you talk about listening, all they don't want you give them advice. They're not looking for that. They're just looking for somebody to say, I am here,
Absolutely.
I am listening, I'm all ears, go ahead. Because sometimes we give too much.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're trying to fix people, and we're not qualified to. You know what I mean? And sometimes they leave feeling worse.
The way that they came.
And I have to be very conscious of that. If someone calls me and wants to, as we say in our vernacular, vent,
Yeah.
let them vent.
Yeah.
At the end, and they want you to say something, then you can say, or if you feel so led to, just wrap it up.
Yeah.
But sometimes all people need is just to know that there's somebody on the other end of the line,
Yeah.
or in the room, that's hearing. I'm hearing you. I'm here with you. And I think that's what women lack a lot, because sometimes we don't trust each other. And so it's important to find your niche, find the friends that you can trust with your secrets. I mean, certainly you don't tell everybody everything.
Yeah.
There's some things that you don't want to share. But whatever you think is safe for you to share, make sure that you're finding the people who you feel safe with. Because we don't always feel safe with everybody.
Yeah.
But as women, as black women, we need a village. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child?
Yep.
Yeah, as black women, we do need a village for wherever we're going, whether we're young, old, middle age, whatever. We need a village. We need to know that there's somebody who can give us either sound advice or can just be listening to what we have to say.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that's all people really want sometimes.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
We need village. I mean, we don't do anything without village. And I remember having conversations, and I think it really hit me when I was in Germany, right? And I was in a new culture, new space, new people, literally meeting everyone for the first time. And I tapped back into my village. If it was a text message telling you guys, good morning, have a good day,
Yeah.
right? If it was the matter of, shooting a text message to my best friend like, hey, can you just keep me in prayer? I have a game coming up. I have some butterflies or whatnot. That support is there, whether they're there with you physically or not. And I truly believe oftentimes when people don't have that village, then you end up on a lone island and you don't want to talk to anyone and you don't want to be around anyone, and you begin to lose that sense of,
and you don't know what to do.
no clue. And you just kind of feel lost.
You're lost.
Yeah.
And out of that loss comes all kinds of other things. You know what I mean? Like, is my life worth living? Why am I here? Why? And if you have a village, they can say to you, of course.
Yeah.
You're worthy.
Yeah.
You're worth it. You are valuable. You're beautiful. You are, and I want us as Black women to develop that culture of lifting up each other.
Yeah.
Because too many times we are, it's easier for us to be critics and criticize each other, and I don't like that here, and I don't like that, right? And I don't like that. How about not saying anything?
Yeah.
How about that?
Your style may be different than my style, and that's okay. That's what makes you unique, and that's what makes me.
Because you're not dressed like me, Nicola. You got on
my basketball attire,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I would never be sitting here saying to you, so you knew you were coming on a television program, so why didn't you? No, because you're uniquely you.
Yeah.
And there's a time and place for, what you need to do.
Absolutely.
And because all of those things, it may seem simple, but when you start downing people like that, if I said to you, why did you wear this shirt? All of a sudden you don't want to be on the show.
Yeah.
Because I've already knocked you down about 10 notches, like, okay, so there's something wrong with my shirt.
Yeah.
And you spend the whole time worried about the shirt and what I said, and you feeling bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to be conscious and know when to speak, know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away.
Yeah.
Because there are times when we have to walk away. Even our best friends, sometimes they would say something, and it wasn't intended to offend, but you feel an offense. And at that point, you can just walk away, table that, and then when you get them by themselves, you say, I really didn't appreciate that. I really felt bad. And that gives the person the opportunity to say, well, that's not how I meant it, but that's how I perceived it. And perception is everything.
It is.
And then we can talk through it, and we put it to rest, and then we gone on our friendship journey again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes we let too many little things,
build up
and just destroy our friendship. And as women, oh my gosh, if we all come together and be supportive of each other and love each other and pray for each other, what a wonderful world this would be.
Yeah. Because you realize over time as well is that a lot of things that may have been said that are off, it may just be a trigger for someone else, right? That really has nothing to do with you whatsoever. But because they have to walk through that for themselves, right? It's just a matter of, hey, let's talk about it. Let's walk through this. Or, hey, like, I don't want to talk about this because it reminds me of something else. And when I'm ready to speak on it, I'll speak on it. But it's the power of communication. But I'm also growing to realize as I'm getting older, it's the power of comprehension, right? Because it's one thing to speak about things, but when we both fully understand and allow each other to understand where we're coming from, then it allows for us to really begin to come together and there at least be that foundation that's there, right? Because we can speak all day, but if we don't understand what each other is saying, then we're just talking over each other through each other.
Because sometimes we speak different languages.
Yeah.
I mean, we're speaking English, but we're speaking, what you're saying is not making sense to me, and what you're saying is not making sense to me. And sometimes we just need to table it. Because you and I, we butt heads. And the reason we butt heads sometimes is because we are so much alike, But in button heads, we still understand that there's a level of respect. And there's a point where we can come back and say, well, you know what, Mom? I didn't appreciate that. And that gives me a chance to say, well, that's not how I meant it. You know, this is how you may have perceived it. But it gives me a chance to say, okay, this is not really what I was saying. Because you hear what you hear. Okay?
Yeah.
And although it's English and you understand English,
Yeah.
you can take it to another level. You know what I mean?
And then depending to where that person is in
Yes.
their state of mind
Yes,
at the moment, right?
exactly.
So there's so many layers to
Yes.
communication. I think in terms of growing as women, relationships with women,
Yeah.
but also relationships with men, right?
Yes.
And being in those spaces where we acknowledge, man, like we're constantly always learning and growing together.
Excellent.
Yes,
This was a
yes.
good discussion.
Yes,
We're going to have
ma'am.
to have a part 2 on this. We're coming to the close of our broadcast, and what it boils down to today is just a matter of encouraging us as Black women to stay focused, continue to support each other. When some Black women excel, you celebrate them. When they're in pain, we help them. We want to be the Sojourner Truths, the Harriet Tubmans, the Rosa Parks, the Ida B. Wells. We want to be women that are selfless, not selfish. We want to be the hands of God extended. So if my sister needs me, that I am willing to say, give me a minute, I will be there. Even if I can't get there at the time you want me to get there. But show some empathy, some sympathy, understand that we're all walking different paths, but we're on the same journey. We're on the journey, whether it be to success or, you know, whatever the journey is, we're in it together. And we just have to continue to celebrate each other's successes and be there for each other when we need to. You know, it's time to put away petty differences. There's no time for that, because life is too complex, and there's too much going on in our individual lives for us to put on another layer of pettiness, so that the little things, we get offended for just the littlest of things. You know, that means nothing. You know, so, you know, I just want to encourage us just to continue on the journey, keep God foremost in our lives, let him be our guide, let him be our compass. And Nicola, I thank you very much for being on here. You have any parting words for the women? Any parting words? And then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, I would say, you know, just continue to take one day at a time. And even when it has to do with goals and being in tune with yourself, make sure that you're always honoring your self-care, honoring your space, honoring, you know, the fact that you are blessed to have people in your life. And when you need to take a step back, take that step. And the moments where, you know, you have to have that hard conversation, have that hard conversation, So it's one day at a time.
Yes,
As
yes.
Pastor said,
And
one
I
day
love
at a
the
time.
self-care part. I'm all for self-care.
Needed.
So take care of yourself. You know, if it's going to the nail salon and just sitting there and have somebody pamper you, do your nails, do your pedicure, whatever, take care of your bodies and even your health. Please take care of your health. Watch what you eat. Drink a lot of water. Someone asked me one time, how do you stay looking good? I said, wash your face and drink a lot of water. She almost died. But, you know, and I was just joking, but water.
Yeah.
You know, we need to drink a lot of water. So take care of yourselves. I love you with the love of God. And I'm going to say to you, may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. This is Pastor E saying, again, Nicola, thank you for being on the show. And God bless you all. I love you. Until next week at 3 o'clock, join me again for Moments with Pastor E.
My brother stopped me at the door on Thanksgiving morning and shouted, "You're not welcome, leave immediately," while my family watched nodding. So I said okay without argument, walked to my car and canceled the $50,000 holiday expenses I'd paid for. Welcome, family. If this story touches your heart, show some love by subscribing.